30 miles from my home, Danville, Illinois. And he gave me a 3-day pass. We took off in this twin-engine plane, and I'd never been off the ground, so I was nervous to start with. And he said, I have a hangover. I'm going to go take a little nap. So he said, this is the altimeter, and just keep it on this heading. And when we flew over Illinois into Indiana, I screamed like a woman the entire I knew how plane goes. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going to die. And I thought, I'm never going to fly an airplane ever again. Oh, it was terrible. So I dropped out of the Air Force.
Well, you did survive that. You started your career on television hosting shows. And then the first thing I really want to talk about, because we're here in New York, is Bye Bye Birdie, and your Tony Award-winning role. There are two things about Birdie I wanted to ask you about. The first is, throughout the book, you are so generous with your praise of your co-workers, and you write in the book, I owe everything to Gower Champion. So I wanted you to talk about Gower a little bit. And the second question is, just to show people how much show business has changed, how you found out that you had won the Tony Award.
Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I had never thought about singing or dancing or acting. I thought I was going to be a television announcer. And I was doing a game show from the Latin Quarter at like noon called Mother's Day. We did diaper changing contests. And the show was bad, and I realized I had no future as a game show host. So every day after the show, I would go out and audition for anything. I think everything but maybe ballet and opera. And I finally ended up in front of Gower Champion, who was casting Bye Bye Birdie. And I did a little bit of a soft shoe, and I sang a song, a Ray Bolger song from What is Charlie? Once in Love with Amy. You old enough to remember that? Once in Love with Amy. I sang that song and did a little soft shoe, and he walked up on the stage and he said, you've got the part. Like in the movies. I couldn't believe it. And I said, Mr. Champion, I can't dance. I don't know how. He said, we'll show you what you need to know. And he did. And I discovered dancing. I was 30, 31 years old and had never danced. And it was like flying. I thought, where has this been all my life? And what was the question?
That was the first question about Gower Champion, because you give him such credit. And the second question is about, I was really struck in the book with how you found out that you had won the Tony Award.
Oh, well, I had, that was when we started the Dick Van Dyke show.
Right.
And I got that because Carl Reiner saw me in Bye Bye Birdie. That, just luck, being in the right place at the right time. But in those days, the Tony Awards were just a banquet at the Waldorf. They didn't even broadcast it. It was quite a quiet little affair. So they sent me a Western Union, and the guy stuck it under the welcome mat in the front door. It was 3 days before he even found it. And I can imagine, yay. But I did, I prized that Tony.
And well deserved it was. So Carl Reiner, with the Dick Van Dyke Show, you repeatedly in the book give him such credit for the success of the show.
The man's a genius.
And I was hoping you could talk a little bit about why you feel his writing, why the humor has not dated at all.
Well, for one thing, Carl insisted you don't mention any current events, no slang of the day, no catchphrases. And he was absolutely right. Even the closer, I could style most. But he was able to write the dialogue. He's caught everybody's cadence and nuance and the way they spoke. Nobody had to act. He just wrote. All you had to do was say the line. The most brilliant man I've ever met, and the nicest human being I've ever known.
That's a rave review for Carl Reiner. You write in the book, it's so interesting that at first it was questionable whether it would keep on the air or not.
Yeah.
And it was Carl Reiner who, I guess in effect, it was a rule. He said, we'll do 5 seasons and that's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was it. I'd still be doing it today.
Yeah. Were you, Did you want it to go on, or did you have a sense of, no, we want to leave at the top of our game?
No, nobody wanted to leave. Right. It was like going to a party every day. It was the most fun I've ever had. It just wasn't work at all.
Right.
You know, some people don't know that Carl shot the pilot with himself.
Yes.
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 That's me.
Yes.
The network is like him. My biggest break, you know.
There was one other question I wanted to ask about that, which is about, you know, your chemistry with Mary Tyler Moore was so remarkable, and I know so many people thought you were married off screen as well.
Yeah, I would joke somewhere with my wife, and they'd go, "Who was that?"
And you said something, it was just a little anecdote in the book that I thought was kind of charming, which was, you said, well, after a while you developed a bit of a crush on Mary, and how that crush manifested itself on the set.
Well, I think what happened was about the second season, we found ourselves giggling all the time during rehearsal. And I had a friend who was a psychologist. He said, "You have a crush on each other." That's what the bar said. Of course. I really did. But the funny thing in the beginning, when we read Mary for the part, right, I said, "Guys, she's beautiful and she's a good actor, but can she be funny?" The last time anybody ever asked that.
I think that's been answered over the years. And when you also in the 60s, you had the huge success with the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then, of course, the classic film Mary Poppins. And we still are. I was so interested in your, you give such credit to so many people, and what really caught my eye in the book, and I just want to read it, about Mary Poppins, you give so much credit to the Sherman Brothers who wrote the music, and you said, the music opened the door to something deep and lasting in our soul.
Yeah, Walt's favorite song, of course, was Feed the Birds, and there was something about that song that had magic in it. To this day, I love that song. You know, I thought that Walt asked me to do the part because of my ability. He had seen a statement I made in an interview somewhere about the lack of good family entertainment. And that's how I got the part.
Oh, so that's how he grabbed onto it.
I thought I was my dancer. I went to Walt and I said, "I would love to do that old banger. You know, I'll do it for nothing if you let me do it."
Right.
So I did have to make up and do a screen test for it and everything. But being the old horse trader he was, he had opened an art school called Cattle Arts. I had to give $4,000 donation to that thing. I had to pay him to do the part.
So you lost money by doing the second.
And I do it again.
Yeah, great.